ready?
What? I don't understand what you're asking.
I've got some questions to ask you.
You get one question. Do they hear my voice?
They can now. Okay.
Hurry up, I got shit to do. Well, that doesn't make any sense. Just to have me say it to say it.
Yeah, these people don't know who I am.
You should be able to go on there and say, the 3 things my dad taught me that are the most important to me in my life right now. What'd you do? Turn it off?
It's an interview. It's me interviewing you.
About shit I taught to you, which is
that would
crazy
translate.
you already know the answer
that would. We want to hear Dogfather say it. While he's in the hot seat. How did it switch to me?
You're a Nazi?
In the hot seat. You can't say Nazi on the street.
That's what I thought you read.
Ask him if he's proud of me. Are you proud of me?
For what? You can't ask broad questions. That's what's wrong with your generation, is all these broad questions. Certain things, yes. Other things, maybe
okay,
not
so
much.
What? So what would be something that you would say you're not proud of me for? Or something that you think I should work on?
Well, you've obviously not learned how to manage money too well yet.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right.
Gut punch right there.
Well, what's something that you think that I excel at, that I do very well at?
I mean, you're 24 years old. You haven't excelled.
I'm 23.
23 years old, about to be 24, and you haven't excelled at anything because you're too young to excel at anything.
Okay.
You've survived a lot of things. Big difference. You're going to ask me to do this again, are you?
I might. When I get older and I excel at something.
Okay. I probably did.
Well, all right. Thanks.
Yeah. I'm going to go watch my 4-wheeler.
Where does the importance of vulnerability and transparency fall for you in terms of fatherhood?
That changes as your kids get older. Because as young adults, you start wanting them to know. When you're very young, you don't care about transparency, nor do you need to be transparent. But as they get older and they start putting together their own thoughts and processes and understanding who they want to be as human beings, then you want to show them that transparency of who you are and or how you got that way and why you're that way.
So you're dad to me, right? Like you're always going to be dad to me.
Mm-hmm.
When
or big jefe.
A dog father. When did the transfer of independence, like when did you become what you would consider an adult? I know that if I needed to find a camera, I would rely on your final word on which is a good camera, because I trust in your ability to do those things way better than me. So at what point
you think that means someone's an adult?
Well, I feel like the knowledge that I can, regardless of what's going on, I can go back to you and trust that you can find a better answer than I could. When did that transfer over in your head where you was like, I need to go and look for these answers myself rather than relying on, say, my father figure?
That is a huge misconception. I'm 53 years old and I still reach back to people. You are never going to know everything. You're never going to close to know everything. Now, you can be a subject matter expert in a few things, but even that, somebody knows more. And hopefully your library of people that you can pick up a phone and call or go see and talk to doesn't decrease over time as you get older, that you always have it, because that's the only way you can do it. If you rely solely on what you are, you rely solely on what you know, you're screwed. Nobody knows enough. Now, part of your question that kind of didn't make sense is the point in time. The point in time for me is different because I joined the military. So at 22, I had to start making decisions and thinking about things that were different.
Prior to becoming a father, what was the biggest fear about fatherhood? And, well, hold on, people are moving stuff. And did you ever overcome that fear?
I never had any fears.
No fear about fatherhood. Like, meaning it was like, if there is a question, I can figure it out, or this is all just
No,
a natural reaction of how I normally would have treated a little kid.
no. When I was growing up, I paid attention to people. I didn't have other distractors. I didn't have computers. I didn't have cell phones. I didn't have video games. I paid attention to people. So I already had a knowledge bank in my head of what good fathers look like, bad fathers look like, mistakes fathers make, things fathers do that are great. I already had that. So there was no fear for me. Now, is there things that happen to you that you maybe didn't expect, or you maybe didn't know how to handle at the time? Goes right back to your last question. Yes, but I always had that Rolodex of people that I knew to call, that I knew to ask, that I knew who to watch. And that when you have that, you don't have fear.
Okay, well, I have,
and I'm not afraid of nothing except your mom.
The way that I see it is that the expectations, you know what I mean? Like, the expectations are probably unjustifiably high, but they're incredibly high, and it just makes me want to do this more, you know? So your mom would have been nice about it. How is it growing up under such high expectations in life? It's cool because it's not like it's not like I have this mindset of like, is this good enough, right? Like, I don't get to think that. I'm trying to think of a good way to put it, of every see, the expectations don't matter if there's no love, right? Like, if, I don't know, a KKK member came up to me and was like, I expect you to be on your best behavior, right? Like, I don't care about anything of his expectations, right? And there's this really weird internal dialogue. Like, if this was not my father, would I experience the same amount of expectations that was adequate to the amount of love and admiration that I give to him, right? And since it is my stepdad, like, this is a purely voluntary amount of love and expectation that's been higher than what some people don't even get from their biological fathers. So I see it more as proof and concept of I want to achieve, because not only is it demanded upon me by my family, it's demanded upon me out of love and respect for the potential that I am. It's not because they don't want a failure. It's because they refuse to allow me to be a failure, right? I don't know if I said that the right way, but like I'm not a failure, so I need to not act like a failure. Does that make you more likely to internalize Did you guys hear that? Hold on. Does it ever get exhausting to always have a bar of success that's expected of you that's higher than your peers, meaning that you could feel like a failure with a B in a class or grade when the student beside you is considered success with the same grade? Does that make you more likely to internalize disappointment in other things, maybe even never feeling a sense of true satisfaction in any success? No, it helped me quantify success of my character versus success of my reputation. I never really had that level of, the disappointment only came when I did something that I knew was wrong. That was where the disappointment was. And even still, it wasn't. And even still, it was disappointment of like, I know that you can be better than this. Not, you're making me look like an asshole. You're making me look like a failure of a parent, you know? I think I have a very rare I have like the essence, I have the concept of a nuclear family without having a nuclear family. And I think that's cooler than actually having a nuclear family. And that, ladies and gentlemen, was an interview with the Dawgg Father.